Today I'm ranking the slides on every vanilla gun in Pavlov. Eventually I'll get over to, like, mod guns like Big Nuts, Uggs, Daniel's Custom Guns, Tarkov, stuff like that. I'll get onto that later, but for now, I'm just gonna do vanilla guns. Starting off with the Barrett. Here we have a Barrett. And I'm gonna be ranking it off from 1 through 10 and through sound and looks. Looks, it is a very big charging handle, or bolt, I should say, because it is a bolt. But I like the little spikes on it. I like how it's spiky. Sound wise, okay, sound-wise, I'll give it like a. I'm gonna start this off as like a 5. You know, it could look a little better, and it could look a little worse. Wait, let me think. Racking it while ADS. Yeah, racking it while like aiming down sights is, I mean, it's not hard. I mean, you can do it. I'm gonna give that like a fair 5. You know, could look better. Could be. You know, could look worse. It's an even 5. I like it. Next up is the Scar. Let's see whether or not it's a Scar H or L, because I don't want to get this wrong. I think it's chambered in 308, so I'm gonna think it's a Scar L. No, Scar H. I don't know. It's Scar. ADS racking. Pretty easy. Sounds great. I love how it sounds. Nice and crispy. You get a good amount of crisp and you get a good amount of cling. That's perfect. Looks wise, there's not much to it looks wise. So I'm gonna have to give it a low ranking looks wise. I'm gonna give it a 2 looks wise, but sound, I'm gonna give that an 8. So overall, I'm gonna give that a fair 6. You know, there's better guns that sound. There are guns out there that sound better and look better, but there are guns out there that sound worse and look worse. Next is the SKS. Let's see. All right, off rip, all I'm gonna say. This charging handle, or bolt, or whatever you want to call it, charging handle or bolt, it looks great. It looks phenomenal. I love the way the SKS, like, bolt or charging handle, whatever the fuck you want to call it, looks. And sound-wise, you get a good bit of crisp. You get a very good bit of crisp. I'm gonna have to get that looks-wise. Probably an 8. Probably an 8 looks-wise. It looks great. Sound-wise, probably also an 8. That's getting a fair 8. I love the SKS charging handle or bolt, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Sounds great. Next up is the hunting rifle. I don't know exactly what this is called. I'll have to look it up after. I don't know. Oh my god, it sounds great. Off rip, I love the way it sounds. Okay. Practicality. Oh yeah, that's great. I love that. That is getting a... That is getting an easy... I just wanted to buy that. That is getting an easy... Probably... Sound-wise, I'll give that a 7. You know, it could sound better. It could sound a fuck of a lot worse. It sounds great. Looks-wise... It looks good. I like the way it looks. I wouldn't say it's the best looking one here. I know exactly which one the best looking one is. And I know exactly which one the best sounding one is. But it isn't that. So I'm gonna give that like a fair, like a fair 6.5. It's not exactly a 7, but it's not exactly a 6. So it gets a 6.5. Next up is the G3A3. And immediately, I already know you cannot HK slap it without a mag being in the gun. But why would you HK slap it with a mag out of the gun in the first place, bro? Are you a psycho? Are you a goober? I think you're a goober. Anyways. Oh yeah, immediately. Oh yeah, I love the HK slap. And the fact that you have to fold it back. The sound is the exact same pulling it back and pushing it forward. It is a very repetitive sound, so sound-wise, I'm gonna have to give it like a 4. You know, practicality. You know, I like that HK slap. I'm a very big fan of the HK slap. The HK slap... Okay. HK slap alone makes up for the sound. Only a little bit, though. So I'm gonna have to give this one a fair... What do I say? 6? 6, 6... Yeah, I think it's a 6 because it could look better, you know. How it operates, I love it. I love how it operates because the HK slap and the fact that you fold it back, you know. I love it. So I'm gonna have to get that one like a fair 6. You know, it is the exact same sound played twice. That's all they did for it. Now, the M16. And by golly, I love this one. It's not the greatest, you know. Looks-wise, I think it's the best looking one. Because of this. You see that? There's a print on it. It says... Zodia or something. I don't know. And then it says Denver, Colorado. But wait, there's more. Because right there on the handle, it has the serial number and it says ZDA. So, looks-wise, that's pretty fancy. That is a good attention to detail from, you know, Bankrupt Games, you know. And so, I mean, I'm going to have to get that like a solid... Looks-wise alone, that is an 8. Sound-wise... Hold on, let me put my charger back in my pocket. Sound-wise... You get a good bit of... You get a good bit of crisp. You get a very good bit of crisp whenever you rack it. Hold on. My charger is being a goober. Anyways, you get a good bit of crisp, and it's pretty practical, because... Right? Alright. Okay. Wait, no. And then releasing the slide is perfect. Right, so charging handle, looks, and sound. I'm gonna have to give it like a solid fair 8. I think the looks alone, give it the 8. The sound, it's a fair 8, you know? It's an 8, it's an 8 through and through. Nothing about it. Next up is the Galil. And immediately, I noticed that it looks like an AK. It looks exactly like an AK. But the charging handle is up and out of the way doing absolutely zilch, bro. This is perfect. Right, so I love the way my hand looks when I rack it back using two fingers, middle and pointer. Oh, and thumb to cover it. Oh my god, it's completely concealed like that, right? But whenever you're ADS, you don't even see it unless you have both your eyes open. That is perfect. And when you rack it with your offhand, you grab it with your pinky. That is perfect. I love the attention to detail with this. Sound-wise, oh by golly, that is probably one of the utmost heavenly sounds I have heard. Right next to, I don't know the most heavenly sounding song. You know, that's more of like an opinional thing, but sound-wise, that is off-rip a fucking 9. I'm not even joking, that is a 9 off-rip. Looks-wise, because it looks like an AK, an 8. AK slides and charging handles, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, always have a place in my heart, and therefore it will be a special fucking perfect 8. Okay, next up is the AKM, no, AK-47, I don't know. They look exactly the same, except the AKM has the little dots on the top, and this one doesn't, I guess. But AK, something. Right? Looks-wise, immediate 8, because it's an AK. The AK slides or charging handles will always have a special place in my heart because of the way they look. That sounds kind of racist, but we're talking about guns here. Guns are inanimate objects. Tools, if you will. Off rip. Oh yeah, that's perfect. And then racking it like this, you pinch it. Yep. And then like this, you just use your finger. Okay, that's great. The sound, it's nice and crispy. It is a classic AK sound. You cannot go wrong choosing the AKM. Or AK-47, whatever, right? Anyways, moving on to the FAMAS. Here we go. Okay, wow. Immediately? Oh, okay. Immediately, it looks perfect. It looks just like the trigger. I can imagine that fits comfortably in your hand, sound-wise. It sounds pretty good. I'll have to give that like a fair 6.5. 6.5 looks-wise, it could look better, you know. Practicality, it gives it this whole big ol' handle. I do not like it. But, you know, 6.5, you know. Next up is the AK-12. Alright, it looks like an AK, immediate 8. Immediate 8 on looks. Sound, you get enough crunch, and you get enough ping. You get a good bit of ping. Not too much, though. Okay, that's good. That's like an 8. An 8.5 overall. Okay, 8 on the looks, 8 on the sound, 8.5 overall. I love that you get a good ping. And this, the M4, classic. Classic. You cannot go wrong with this. And look, the slide releasing comes out. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You can slap the chambers closed with an M4 or an M16. Because there's a charging handle there, so the Bankrupt Games is crazy when it comes to attention to detail. Sometimes, you know, the suppressors could sound more realistic. What the fuck ever, bruh. Anyways. Okay. Looks-wise, it doesn't have the print the M16 does, but I mean, you can't expect a Bankrupt to drop a banger like that, and then feel like they must include that. Tasted great, by the way, and then they must include print on the fucking slide. I mean, that's absurd. That is absurd if you ask me. I love the way it sounds. Okay, immediate 8 on the sound. Looks-wise. Probably a 6. So I'm gonna have to give it a 7.5 just because it doesn't look as fancy. But you know what? That's okay. Next up is the Steyr AUG, chambered in 5.56, just like the other guns I just fucking held. Besides the AK-12, the M16, the M4, and the Galil were all 5.56. Anyways. Oh yeah. Okay, so immediately it is definitely noticeable. And then racking it while ADS, you do have to kind of reach for it. But as you would with like any other rifle, it's not an M4. I mean, you don't have to reach as far on an AK as you do on this, but this is. Okay, look, and you even get the HK slap whenever you... Yeah. Sound-wise? Good bit of crunch. The only reason it's pinging is because of the... Okay, that's pretty good. I think looks-wise, you definitely notice it, and it's a little bulky, and reaching for it's kind of difficult, but... I think it gets a solid 7.5. That's it. 7.5. No. That's kind of a little bit of glaze if you think about it. Maybe an 8. No. That's way too much glaze. I mean a 6. That's what I meant. 6.5. You know, 6.5 is pretty fair. It could sound a little bit more aggressive, but it does have that redeeming HK feature slap, or HK slap feature, and that is by far the most redeeming feature it has. Anywho, I'm gonna move on to this, but I gotta sync this video. Alright, next up is the Spas 12. Immediately, I love the way it looks. It looks great. Practicality is pretty good. I like that you can ADS and hold it, like rack it, like. Okay, the recoil's kind of insane. Okay, sound, nice and crispy. You get a little bit of ping, very little ping, and you can kind of notice it if you listen hard. Okay, good. That's pretty good. I like that. That's nice. I like that. And then racking shells out. That sounds good. I like that. I'll have to get the sound. like a 7. Looks, probably a 7. So overall, maybe a 6, just because, I don't know. It could be better, could be worse. Kind of basic. Next up is the Saiga, and immediately, the looks get an 8, because of the AK. And sound, I love the way that sounds. Let's load one. I love the way that sounds. Overall, maybe like a 9. I'll give that a 9. That's fair. You know, I love the way that it sounds, and because it looks like an AK, it gets an 8. I'm gonna piss off maybe a person or two off by saying that, but that's a fair rating, you know. Oh yeah, next up is the HK MP5, and immediately looks. You don't even know what I want to do to you. You don't even know. You don't even know. All right. That's pretty good. That is good as beans. That is as cool as beans, bruh. That is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I put the charm on there because I don't know. I thought it was funny. I don't even know what that is, bro. Like if I'm being honest, I thought it was just funny. Cause I mean, low key though, that's drip, bro. Golden, bro, that is drip. I don't even know what that means though. It could be a gang sign, and I could get Swiss cheese next time I step outside. I don't know. But that's off topic. We're talking about slides and charging handles and shit now. So sound. Okay, that's a good sound. I'll give that like a 6. Next up, looks. I like the way that looks, and I know I was glazing it a minute ago. It's not that good though. Like on some real shit, it could look better. I'm gonna give that like the slide could look better. So I'm gonna give that like a. Looks wise, I'm gonna give that like a 6. Overall, just a 6, maybe 6.5. Next up is the HK UMP. Right, perfect. Okay. That's pretty good. Okay, so looks-wise, I love the way that it looks. It looks so sleek, and I'm gonna have to give it like a fair 8.5 for looks. Sound. You get a good bit of crunch. I'm gonna have to give that like an 8.5 overall. Next up is the Crisp Vector. Oh, no. I forgot to do the LMGs. I'm going to do the LMGs now. Next up is the M249. Right? Pretty good looking, and I like the way that this moves and this moves. Right? Perfect. Oh, by golly. And then the sound. Nice and crispy, too. Nice and crispy. I like the sound for that. Let me get a refresher. Sound for that is a solid... What do I want to get? Sound... Like an 8. No, like a 6. Looks, that'll get a 9 because I like the way that these look. You know, I like the way that this goes up and that goes out. This goes up, that goes out. You know. I like that a lot. So, looks-wise, it's gonna get a 9. And sound-wise, it's gonna get a 6. Overall, probably about a 9. I'm sorry, that's gonna get a 9. I don't care. You can literally cancel me for that. I literally don't care. Next up is the PKM, I think. I could be wrong on that. Chamberlain, I don't know, because I'm not a Russian. Right? So you get the that sound, okay. Nice and crispy. You can just tell it's Russian by the way it sounds, bro. You can't hear that and tell me it's American or Chinese or like British. That's very obviously Russian. Such a Russian sound, but I mean I am gonna have to deduct some points for looks because this isn't on the same side as the charging handle, and there's no flappy thingy that moves up like on the M249. But this moves up, but there's no like little chunk of metal that just moves up and makes it look cooler. So I'm gonna have to deduct some points for looks on the PKM. I'm gonna give the looks about a 4. Could look prettier, and sound probably about a 5. I'm gonna give it like a 4.5. You know. Next up is the Chris Vector Chamberlain 45. Did I already do this one? I think I already did this one. I think I'm. Am I done? I'm gonna. No, I don't believe so. I'm just gonna do it anyways. So next up is the Chris Vector. First of all, I don't like the way it looks. It is. I mean, it's just. Practicality, I'm gonna have to deduct some points for. Because once you're done mag dumping, drop the mag, put a new mag in, and you click the button thinking that you can release the slide. There's no slide to release. You gotta put another mag in, rack it. We don't like racking around here. We're like releasing the slide. My M4 mains know what's up, but yeah, see, we don't like that around here. But yeah, no, I mean, it looks okay because I like the little holes, but like on the G3A3, you can fold that forward and back and pull it back. I like the way that looks, right? Perfect overall. I like that. I was gonna get it like a. Why did I say perfect overall? I was just now shitting on the looks, bro. Sound. Let me give it another sound test because I already dropped mine and it's over there. I can't grab that. Sound. You get a little bit of ping and not too much crunch. So for sound, I'm gonna have to give that like a low rating. That is gonna get like a 4 on sound. I mean, low key, nah. Yeah, actually, that's gonna get like a 5 on sound, and on looks and practicality, that's gonna get like a 3. So overall, I'm gonna give it like a 4.5. You know. Next up is the PP Bison, PP19, whatever you want to call it, and off rip. Immediate 8 for looks because it looks like an AK. You know how I like my AK looking guns. Right, so immediate 8 for looks. Sound nice and crispy. And I was about to say there's a little bit of ping, but that's only because of the bullets. Right? Wait. No, there is a little bit of ping at the end. Small, itty bitty, itsy bitsy little amount of ping, but okay, yeah. So itsy bitsy little amount of ping, good crunch. and immediate 8 because it looks like an AK. That's gonna go in here first of all because it gets a good high rating. I'm gonna give that a 9. I'm gonna give that a 9 not only because this was the first gun I ever used on Pavlov Shack on Bridge alongside a Deagle. I'm gonna get into that later, but also because it sounds and looks good. Next up is the whatever the fuck you want to call this. I don't know what to call this. Okay, it looks like an ARP or an AR9, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Okay, yeah, so that's pretty good. Okay, immediately looks like a tactical, like a more tactical version of the M4. That's not what, you know. Doesn't look like as tactical as this. You know, that looks cool. That's cool as that again. That's cool as beans, cool as biscuits. That is very cool. And you know, only goobers would know that it's not cool. But I'm not a goober, so yeah. And you can slap it closed, like on the M4, because it has a little mag release there. Okay, so sound, basic sound. I'm gonna give that a 5. Looks okay. I'm gonna give that a 6. We're gonna move through those here in a second. I just gotta sync it. Right, now we're moving over to the P90. Where did my frame rate go? There we go. Now we're moving over to the P90, chambered in 5.7 by 28. I'm led to believe. I don't know. That could be 4.6 by 30, but I'm pretty sure that's 5.7 by 20. Off rip looks, there's not much to look at. So immediately I'm gonna give that a low rating for looks, just because, you know, I'm not really looking at much here. You know, I feel like the designers could make it like a little bit look a little bit better. But sound, good bit of crunch. I like a little bit of crunch in my guns. At first smooth, then wherever you release it, it's a little bit crunch. Smooth, crunch. Smooth, crunch. I'm gonna have to get a low rating because there's not really much to look at here. Looks like it's a 4. You know, sound I mean, it's kind of basic sounding, so kind of like a 6. So I'm gonna give it a fair, very fair 5. Right. Next up is this Draco. I don't know if that's actually what, but I'm gonna call it that because yeah, I mean it's a Drake. Like, I feel so thug holding my gun sideways with the mag jumping. Sound? Oh my god. Immediately off rip looks, it gets an 8 because it looks like an AK. I cannot stress it enough. Whenever it looks like an AK, it's gonna get an immediate 8 on the slide or charging handle, whatever. But there is this little tire fucking thing. Like it looks like the shit that you find on your tire. And then I don't know. I mean, immediate looks for 8. Immediate looks are 8 because I mean, I don't know. What do you want me to say? Because it's an AK. I've said it like 1,000 times. I do not want to say it again. I will say it again though. Immediate looks because, or immediate 8 because of the looks. It looks like an AK. All right, sound, kind of basic. So I'm gonna give that another fair rating, like a 5. Next up is the Mac, whatever the fuck, Uzi. Right, perfect. I mean, really, looks. Again, I'm not looking at much. You know, it looks like a bowl was cut in half and smacked onto the top of a gun. Not much to look at here. And really, practicality, whenever you're mag dumping, and then you drop the mag, put a new one in, I mean, really, you're not doing much. You know, so I can't be too, you know, can't give it too high of a rating. So I'm gonna give that looks like a 2. Sounds basic, like a 5. All right, so overall maybe a 3. I'm sorry, I'm gonna piss off some Uzi mains, but if you main an Uzi already, you're just wrong. Anyways, on to the Scorpion. I don't know if it's a CZ Scorpion or just a Scorpion, but it is a Scorpion of some fucking sort. All right, here we have the Scorpion. Whatever. I already said that. Looks. I like the way it looks because there's like a little plate and there's little rings around it, right? I like that. I like the way it looks. You know, so I'm gonna have to get the unique look of this. Oh, what do I want to give it? Unique look gets a fair 8. Now, I've given too many things an 8. The unique look of this gives this a 8.5. Ooh, getting risky there. Sound of it sounds kind of basic. Right? Sounds kind of basic. Oh, there it is. Okay, there we go. Alright. Sounds kind of basic, so maybe like a 7. Next up is the lastly, because, I mean, I'll do this another time. I'm too tired. I'm too tired to do this now. Immediately, off rip, 8 for looks and 9 for sound. I mean, listen to that. Good bit of clean, and it goes. Like every other time you rack it, it goes pop. Like a small little bubble. You can't be mad at a little bit of pop. I love that. I love that 1,000 times over. And again, I don't know if this is the AS Val or the VSS, because I mean it has the buttstock of the VSS, but it has the Picatinny rails of the AS Val. So I'll just have to look it up. I think it's a Val. Okay. Anyways, let's see, sound. Sound, it immediately gets 9, and looks, it gets an 8. So combined, I'm gonna give that a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 on looks and sound, because I love the way it looks, because it looks like an AK. Looks similar to that of an AK. I mean, it's a little smoother than an AK. So I like that a lot, actually. So I like when things look rugged, and I like when things look clean as shit. Right? And sound, oh my god, I can't get enough of that. I cannot get enough of that. It has a silly little pop sound. Anywho, I guess I'm done rating slides. I'm gonna move on to the World War II ones tomorrow. But yeah, this one wins my heart. Anyways, now I'm gonna bring this back and see what I've done throughout the entire time I've been recording. Oh wow. Oh wow. There's a couple holes. We're gonna have to do something about that later. Ignore the big holes. That wasn't any of my doing. I didn't do any of that. You just sent a grenade right through it. Yeah, so that's it. The Valve and Chirez, whatever the fuck. Immediate win. I'll do the pistols from modern day and World War II at another time. But yay!